Yo, what's going on? This is Mike, and I am the Sports Dope. You can find me on Twitter at that Sports Dope or Instagram at the same name. If you go to mindsofmike.com/the Sports Dope, you'll be able to find a bunch of little social media icons. So if you came across this on YouTube, you can get the iTunes link, take that shit on the go. And if you want to see me sitting here in my sick robe, which is different than the normal robe that I wear on occasion, the normal robe I wear is because I like it to be cold and be bundled up. But when I'm not feeling well, I want it to be hot and then still bundled up. So now it's a sick robe. It needs to get washed immediately after the sickness is done. So I'm coming to you hurt a little bit. I don't know, completely under the weather. But I took some time off of work because of it. The good news is, because I took that time off of work, I dove in a little bit deeper. I had a little bit more time sitting there, on the couch, eating my fucking soup, drinking some fucking tea, and just diving into some numbers and looking into some things and just trying to get an actual, like a big feel, just an overall feel of what I think this week is going to come. So I think we got some winners picked out the second half of this little conversation. But to open the conversation, I've been saying that I was looking into doing some tallies, figuring out where we're at. Gotta be honest, not great. So actually, some of it's decent when you encapsulate the whole thing. I think it looks good. I didn't break down the money, just the records. So I definitely think we're in the black though, and I think you'll agree with me after I explain it. The one thing that might hurt us is that stupid thing that I did for a while, where it was a couple weeks where I just blindly teased the home team in the under. Like, I think I lost like 4 or 5 in a row on that. So that's been awful. That hurts. But I think overall, take that out because that was a mistake. We know that's a mistake. I hope you guys realized it was a mistake before I realized it was a mistake. But so my locks aren't great. My leans are good. The teasers, if you take out those 4 or 5 weeks, we're about even. But since teasers are plus money, we're up money. But, we're not really because I was an idiot. Sucker bets, man, I've been good at calling sucker bets. 5 times those sucker bets have lost. No times have they won. And twice they pushed. So I don't call them every week, but when I see them, yeah. Dogs, 5 of 5. Even. So, and we're betting dogs. That's all plus money. So, we've won the juice, essentially. That's pretty good. Some of them were big dogs, too. Hefty dogs. So, the locks. Basically, I'm not good in locks, but I'm good in leans. Locks, I was 6 and 14. That is awful for locks. Leans, though, 18 and 13. So, basically, 24 and 27. Not fantastic. But, hey, we're right there. And then a lot of the plus money from the dogs. You take out those dumb teasers, we would be at plus money there. And, man, I should do more betting against the sucker bet because that seems to be what I'm good at fucking spotting out. But the way they pose those sucker bets, it's really fucking interesting, right? It's something that where you definitely don't want to bet on the other side. And it entices you to bet the one. You can't bring yourself to bet the other, but you could pick it out. And you could be like, nah, that's fucky right there. That's not something that's on the up and up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so mediocre start, we'll say. Mediocre start. And like I said, we got some good ones coming this week. One other thing I said I was going to go and do was look into some of these futures. So there were 2 things that I thought were pretty interesting when I just sat back and I looked at the NFL season as a whole so far and the standings and the upcoming schedules. There were 2 things that really kind of stood out to me. Green Bay's close with Minnesota, but I think they still take it fairly easily. Seattle and San Francisco is most likely just going to come down to their second game together. So that's kind of just where it's at. It's a shock that the Rams are what they're doing right now. The Saints, I'm going to be interested to watch them, but I don't really believe too much in the Panthers because like, I don't know, Kyle Allen. Like, I could buy it for a little bit, but I don't know about overtaking the Saints, even though Drew Brees did not look great. So I think this week's going to tell a lot there. Basically, Cowboys and Eagles are going to come down to the second matchup in that division. But Patriots are going to win theirs. That's pretty obvious. The AFC South is worth watching. That's definitely going to be interesting. But Houston has, a pretty decent leg up because it's got a lot of these tiebreakers with the other teams. But here are two things I found pretty interesting. If Oakland wins this weekend, which they should because they're playing Cincinnati at home, and Kansas City loses, which I agree they shouldn't. But it's always possible. You don't know what Chargers team is going to show up. These guys always play tough. It's in a neutral site, so you never know what's going to go on. Next weekend, they play each other, and that'll be for the division. Isn't that wild? Like, I don't know. I just thought that was pretty fucking wild when I looked at that. I'm not about to jump on any Oakland futures, but just saying. The Ravens, right? Everybody loves the Ravens. I dig the Ravens. I appreciate the Ravens. I'm going to be talking about them more at the end of this. They're just killing the world, right? Killing the world. They have a 2-game lead. They have a game in hand because they already beat Pittsburgh. But going forward, they're playing the Texans, the Rams, the Niners, the Bills, the Jets, and the Browns. And then they close versus Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, they have the Browns twice, the Bengals, the Cardinals, the Jets, and the Bills. Like, I'm just saying, I don't think it'll happen, but I was very interested to see that. And I had a Pittsburgh to win the division ticket at the beginning of the year that I almost had ripped up. But, looking at that, I'm not ripping it up just yet. I'm saying, I don't know what the odds are right now that they win the division. It'll probably all lock up, once this game starts on Thursday night. But, it's interesting to see how this weekend shakes out, especially tonight. If Pittsburgh wins tonight, and, even if the Ravens win, it's still the same situation. Because the Ravens have a bit of a tougher schedule. And they play each other one more time. So it's pretty interesting. Everybody loves the Ravens, but it's not over yet. Not over yet. All right. So that's all I got to say about the future. Let's dive into last week. Quick recap. So last week we started off. We'll talk about the teaser first because the teaser included the Thursday night game. Thursday night game was Oakland and the Chargers. We had Oakland in the teaser. Oakland came through. They actually won the game. It was a good game. I liked Oakland, but I don't know. I just got nervous about the line moving, and maybe the Chargers found it, but they didn't. The Chargers did not find it. It was just one stinker from Green Bay. That's all it was. Chalk it up. Next leg of the teaser, we had Miami. They won outright. That was ridiculous. That was also the dog plus 390. Talked about putting like a small amount on it because it was such a ridiculous dog, but it came through. Fuck, right? Next up in the teaser was Green Bay. So, boom, we hit all the teasers. We hit the teasers. That was nice. All three of those would have won just straight up also, so that would have been nice. So, let's see. Next bets we had... we called Buffalo as the sucker bet. I called that one a push because when we did it, we called it a 3. And, they lost by 3. So it was a push. Push on the sucker bet. But, still, why even waste the time, right? Why waste the time and energy if you're just going to push? The next, we had a lean. That was Atlanta. That was solid. Atlanta came out and just, Drew Brees did not look good. Like, this time of year is usually when his arm starts getting tired because he's a fucking old man. I thought with all the, the rest he had from the injury that his arm might not get tired this year. So that's why, I don't know, but we'll see. Maybe it's just the chill in the air that gets him every year. I don't know. Next up, we had the Giants as a lock. Yeah, just do me a favor. Never trust me when I bet on the Giants. Just don't do it. It's not worth your time. I feel like I know what to expect from them and when they're going to step up. But it just seems that they never do. And when I don't think they're gonna, that's when they do. I'm just completely offbeat on the team. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm blinded by love. we did have the over, but I think I took that out. No, I didn't. So, yeah. So we had the over in that game also. That one hit. I knew that one was going to be a shootout. If you listen to the Daily Fantasy one also, I took a bunch of Jets and Giants. They all fucking smashed except Saquon. Yeesh. Dude, that guy is, I don't know, a little banged up. Brought him back too soon. Why would you bring him back too soon, you fucking morons? Next up in the lean department, we had Dallas. That did not work out. They got beat up by Minnesota. And we also had San Francisco on Monday night. That one did not work out. But we had the over in that one, so that one worked out. So basically, we lost some juice in the locks and leans, but we made it up with the dog. We made it up with the teaser. We're in the black. We're good. Solid weekend. What is that? We were basically 3-3 in the locks and leans, 1-1 in the locks, 2-2 in the leans, and then we had Miami plus 390, and then we had the teaser, which usually pays about plus 180, whatever it was. So, rest of the week, we took Cincinnati, but we didn't bet on it. Solid choice because Baltimore smoked them. We had Kansas City, didn't bet on it. Solid choice because Tennessee smoked them. We had Tampa Bay, didn't bet it. Solid choice because Arizona covered. We had Detroit, didn't bet it. We didn't know Stafford's back had fractures in it, so we stayed away from it, which was a solid move. Wow, look at that. 0 for fucking 5 for what we didn't bet. Or actually, I feel like that's 5-0 for the no bets. So, because I obviously had a bad feel about those. Because the fifth one is the Rams, which we did not bet. All right, so that's, hey, I'll take that week. I'll take that week every fucking week. Yeah, go even with the picks, hit a teaser, and hit a plus money dog. I'll take that every week. All right, but let's do better, because we can do better, right? Positive thinking, good vibes. Now, let's dive in to the week at hand. It's Thursday now, so in reality, I probably shouldn't talk about the game. It hasn't started yet. It's about 8:21, so we're about 4 minutes till kickoff. If the camera wasn't placed perfectly, I would point you at the TV to show you it hasn't kicked off yet. But just take my word for it. 8:22 on Thursday on the East Coast. So I know I talked about how stupid it was, but I'm doing a Thursday teaser with Cleveland and the under. I do like the under itself of 41.5. I also kind of like Cleveland. I bought the teaser up 0.5 point, so I got plus 3.5. I think Pittsburgh is a little bit overvalued, even though I was just talking about how there's a slight chance they could, make a little play for the division. There's a lane. But they got to win tonight. I don't know if they do. And if they do, I hope it's by less than 3.5 and under 47. So that's what I got going on for that one. But it's going to be too late for you to bet it. So I'm not counting it on the record. I'm just telling you what my general degeneracy is all about on this Thursday evening. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to talk about the games we're not going to bet. And the first one up is Dallas going to Detroit. There are no real lines available for this game yet. What I'm seeing is Dallas minus 4.5. I think that was more of a look-ahead line. There's no total posted. The total that I saw was 51, but I feel like that was, pre-Stafford injury or assuming Stafford plays, but I don't see that number posted anywhere because if they did, I would probably bet a mortgage payment on it because there's no way a Staffordless Lions team gets to 51.5 with a Dallas team that I think is going to try and run it because they don't realize Dak is actually a fairly decent quarterback and they realize they paid Zeke, so they're going to run the shit out of him. Even if they're trying to catch up in a game where they're losing. Whatever. That's bold moves, but hey, whatever. So, not betting on the game. If Stafford plays, I'm still not betting on the game because why do I want to bet on a guy who's got cracks in his spine? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. The only thing that I might bet on is I'm going to keep an eye on the total when it comes out. If the total comes out anywhere near that 51, like 49 or higher, I'm going to smash that under because, I don't know, I could see a Detroit just complete give up here. And I don't see Dallas getting 49 points by themselves. Next game we are not betting on. Speaking of Dallas, we're going to Minnesota. Look, 8.5 is what I thought this game was going to be. Came out 10.5. Stayed steady at 10.5. I just think it's a little too much. Last week was a big game. I think they win this pretty easily, but, I could see a backdoor touchdown, something like that. Just let the fucking kid from Denver get one in. I don't know, maybe Matt Patricia likes Elway. Who knows? But I'm not a fan of this number. Just a little too big for my blood. Next game that we are not betting on, we are going to Washington, where the Jets are traveling to play Dwayne Haskins and the Redskins. I just don't like this matchup. Jets coming off of a huge win, talking about how if they run the table, they can make the playoffs. I do think that they come out hot, and to be honest, I wouldn't be shocked at all if they won this game fucking going away. A little bit of confidence in a bunch of young guys who have a lot of talent going down to see a fucking complete shit show of a team with, barely NFL-ready talent, if you could even call it that. I mean, Dwayne Haskins has not looked good. They have no receivers. The defense is the only somewhat redeeming thing, and that's only because it's not horrendous. But yeah, I think the Jets should win this one, but I just still worry about them. I don't know if they blew the load in the Giants game, but I'm staying away, not putting the money on it. Next one that we are not going to be wagering on, Arizona goes to San Francisco. I thought it was going to be about 9.5. It opened at 14, and if I would have been at the window with that, I would have thrown a nice fucking chunk of change on that 14. Made its way from 14 down to 10.5 today. Yeah, I'm staying away from that 10.5. If I had to, I'm going Arizona. I didn't say from before. Yeah, if I had to, I'm going with Dallas. If I had to, I'm going with Minnesota. If I had to, I'm going with the Jets. And then in this one we just talked about, if I had to, I'm going with Arizona. So those are my if I had tos. So next one up that we're not wagering on, Cincinnati at Oakland. I don't know why I did Cincinnati. Did I say it like that? That was weird. Cincinnati at Oakland. Oakland's -7. I thought it was going to be -7.5. Opened at 8. Moved to 10.5. That number's big, man. But I am not betting on fucking Cincinnati on the road. They are horrendous. What's that kid's name? Ryan whatever. No thank Ryan Finley, right? No thank you. You gotta just run the ball while they're getting smoked by Baltimore. Like, that's the first time I think a team has ever lost by 30 and the running back still had 30 carries. Like, why are you still giving it to that guy? Just none of that shit makes sense. Let's see. Next up, we've got the Bears at the Rams. Sunday Night Football. When this opened up, I thought it was going to be the Rams -4. They were -7.5. Moved down to 6.5. I don't like any bit of this. I think that's too many points. I think the Rams are in shambles right now. They're having a tough go of it themselves. So in order to make them big favorites like that, I don't know. That's a bold move. And look, the Bears are pretty much of a dumpster fire themselves. The only thing that's somewhat redeeming is their defense. So this, I don't know. The over-under opened at 42, went down to 40. Man, 40 is such a low number. But I can't expect the Bears to score a lot. The Rams, they have an explosive offense, or what you would think is an explosive offense. But I just can't do it, man. This game is just too tough to call. So I'm staying away from it at the Rams -6.5, and that number is just too low for my blood. If it would have been like 43, I would have jumped in with the under. 43 would have been what would have got me. Needed a quick douse to the throat. A little parched after I'm rambling here. Let's see. I don't think anybody watches or listens to these anyway, so I'm just going to start smoking my Juul. Don't care. Oh, yeah. So, this is what I got for you guys this week. I'm going to start off with the locks and leans. There wasn't too much that I liked. Last week I had 6 bets. This week I only got 4. I got 2 locks, 2 leans. As we know, the locks have not been going well, so maybe stick with the leans. But, man, do I like the locks this week. Fuck. All right. First lock of the week, I'm going with the Carolina Panthers. They're hosting Atlanta. I thought it was going to be Carolina -3. just because Atlanta came off the win, and that was more what I thought it was going to be, and I was going to hop on Carolina at that number. But it opened at 7. I was like, too high. But it's come down to 4.5, and I like it, and I'm taking it, and I am going actually 2 units on this one because I just like the spot so much. Carolina's coming off of a tough loss, and Atlanta's coming off of what a lot of people thought was like, I heard some people talking like, oh, it could be their Super Bowl. They say that about shitty teams, like they just want to beat their rival, like, oh, it could be their Super Bowl. And yeah, Carolina's in their division also, but nobody gives a shit about the Carolina Panthers. There's no rivalries there. So I think Carolina, though, they give a shit about the season. And the Falcons, after they expended all their energy at New Orleans last weekend, beating the shit out of them, they're going to go into Carolina flat as fuck. Not to mention, Matt Ryan's fresh off an injury. He didn't play super well. And Austin Hooper's going to be out. And Devonta Freeman's going to be out. Just everything about this game screams no way. No way for the Falcons. So I love Carolina in this spot. The line dropped down to 4.5. I jumped right on it. I think the game's going to go a bit under 2, but that number fell way hard. Fell like a rock, 54 down to 49.5. A little too low for my blood at that, but we'll talk about it in a minute. What do we got next lock? We're going to Monday night. Listen, the Chargers, I don't care what anybody says. They are trash now. They got one lucky game because Green Bay looked like shit. If that game never happened, this is a touchdown line. It's Kansas City -7 if that game never happened. And look, I get it. Also, what's contributing to this low line is that Kansas City just got beat up by Tennessee. So people might not be as stoked on them as they used to be. But, they are going to beat the shit out of the Chargers. They should have beat the shit out of the Chargers there last year. But too bad that Shakira concert or whatever the hell was there, and it ruined the grass. So this year, Kansas City's going to go in there and just blow the doors off of them. Kansas City Chiefs, another lock. Let's see. Where are we going now? We're going with the leans. All right. I've been doing it. And I've been winning. And you know what? There's no reason to not keep doing it. Give me the Miami Dolphins. I thought it was going to be Buffalo -3. Right? Like Buffalo, that's adorable. They lost at Cleveland. They haven't played anybody good. They've stayed in like their state or the Northeast. Like now they got to travel. They're going down to the heat. It's already like -10 in Buffalo. Like, yeah. No thanks. No thanks, Buffalo. Buffalo is going to go down there, and I think that Miami is pretty live in this one. But I took him as my dog last week, so I'm not going to do that again. But give me Miami with the 6.5. Could be a very low-scoring game, too. So that 6.5 is going to come in handy. In that first matchup a couple weeks ago, Fitzpatrick's first game, Miami looked solid. They moved the ball a lot. If it wasn't for one of those Fitzpatrick-y turnovers that he does every once in a while, they could have won the game. But, a late touchdown, these things happen. And they lost by 10, but we covered. That was a nice one. That was the start of our Miami run, and almost love affair. I just love Fitzpatrick. He's got a shitty giant beard like I have. Not as big as his because, I can't look like a complete maniac at work. But yeah, give me Miami in the 6.5. I love that shit. Give me that. Let's see. Next on the lean, right? So this game, we're going to talk about a couple things. First, it's going to be my sucker bet. I'm a little nervous about this team. Not that they're going to not go to the playoffs. Not that they're not going to fucking win the division. And not that they're not going to be like a top 2 seed even in the AFC. But man, did New England look bad last week against their first real opponent of the season, minus the week 1 Ben Roethlisberger Steelers. But man, did they look bad last week against Baltimore. Really bad. Philly is on the rise. I'm not going to bet this game because I'm not trying to bet against New England. But, boy, I think that this is a big-time sucker bet potential. I am not betting on New England with the -3.5. I thought it should have been closer to New England -2. And now it's 3.5. You got the hook. Now that's a no bet for me. And if you take the New England Patriots this week, I think you're a bit of a sucker. Now, that being said, one thing I do like in this game, because both of these teams do have good defenses, Philly's secondary is improving with people getting healthier, and New England's defense is just pretty good. Maybe not as fantastic as we thought, given the smackdown they took last time we saw them. But yeah, give me the under. It opened at 46, went down to 45. I still like it at 45. Two good defenses. And I don't know, you ever see like teams coming off a bye and they just look rusty? Like they almost forgot what playing football was like a little bit. I think we got a little bit of that in this game. And that's probably because, it's got nothing to do with Belichick, but his team's a little bit older. So they got to keep it moving. Like you ever see like the guy on the side of the field riding a stationary bike? Like that's what the Patriots are. If they sat down for more than 3 days, it takes them a while to get those juices flowing again. So, I think it could take them a little bit to get warm. And Philly just, fuck them. The offense hasn't looked super, and but the defenses look good. So I think this game's poised for an under. I'll take that 45 for sure. All right, so we talked about all the locks, all the leans. Locks being Carolina -4.5, Kansas City -3.5. The leans being Miami +6.5, and the Philly New England under 45. The Patriots with a sucker bet. Now let's talk about the dog. In the dog, we are going down to Tampa Bay, right? Tampa Bay home dog against the New Orleans Saints. We already talked. The Saints looked horrible last week. This game could go one of two ways. Either maybe Drew Brees forgot to put his fucking Bengay on or something to loosen his shoulder up, or his arm is really fucking bad because he looked bad. Now, if it's A and he forgot to put the Bengay on and he puts the Bengay on, they're just going to smoke him. The Saints are going to be like, in Fight Club where, whoever it was, Edward Norton wanted to destroy something beautiful and he beat the shit out of Jared Leto with his stupid blonde hair. So you either got that situation going on where the Saints are going to beat the fuck out of him, or Drew Brees' arm is hurt, or his arm just isn't the same. And Lattimore's not playing on the defense. And the thing the Saints do well is they stop the run, and the Bucs aren't going to run it. So they're just going to pass it. Yeah, they're going to have a couple turnovers probably, but they're also going to probably throw for 4 touchdowns, especially if Lattimore's not there. So, look, I think one of these I think Tampa Bay either wins a decent one, like a little more, like around a touchdown, or the Saints just blow them out by like 3 touchdowns. That's the way I see this game going. But I like Tampa Bay as a dog, plus 210. Give me a unit on that. And let's go to the teaser now. The teaser. So one of the things I talked about was the over-under in the Carolina-Atlanta game. Now, I loved it when it opened at 54. It dropped 4.5 points. That was a massive swing. 49.5, a little dicey. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tease it back up. Tease it up to 55.5. Now, the next 2 teams, here's something I want to talk to you guys about. Listen up, okay? The first game in London, the Bears and the Raiders. They come back. They have a bye. Next week, they both get blown out. Next game in London, Panthers, Tampa Bay. They come back. They have a bye. Next week after that, they both lose. Next game in London, Cincinnati and the Rams. Go out there, play their game, come back. They have a bye. They both lose. Seeing a trend here? Who else just came back from London? That would be the Jaguars. Oh, no, wait. That would be the... Where am I? That would be the Texans. And that would be the Jaguars. So, what we're going to do is we're going to tease these guys. Right? We're going to tease them. So, Baltimore, we're going to take down a +2 because Baltimore's at -4. I think Baltimore covers that number anyway. But just to be safe, I'm going to throw this one in a tease. I like my little London thought process there. But I'm going to throw them in a tease to be safe. And I'm going to pair them with that over-under that I really like. So I think Baltimore covers this number. I think Houston's a little bit overrated. Um, I think they took advantage of a Jags team that I don't know. Maybe they've been going out to London too frequently, and now they know where all the spots are, so they're out there like fucking chilling. Maybe they all got side chicks out there. I don't know. I'm just speculating right now. But the Jags have not looked good in London their last 2 times out there, and I don't know. There's got to be some outside factors to that. I mean, a guy like Minshew is probably getting flocked like the fucking Beatles out there, but Jacksonville, they're going with Nick Foles this week. I like Indy with Jacoby Brissett. Hoyer looked awful last week. They know that they need to turn it around. I believe they have Houston coming up very soon, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, laptop went out. But yeah, they have Houston coming up the week after this. So it's a slight look ahead spot. So that's why I want to go with the tease. So let me get Jacksonville. I'm gonna tease them down to 3.5. I like it because it's a 2.5 right now. You do your tease, 3.5. You get the hook. It's nice. Then I'm gonna go Baltimore, teasing them to the 2, protecting myself from like a last second 1-point field goal loss. 2 is not a great number, but you get down through 3, you get over 0. So they just got to keep it, within 1. We're good, and we're gonna take that under 55.5 in the Carolina Atlanta game. So just to recap, here are the picks for the week. Locks and leans, we got Carolina -4.5. We got KC -3.5. Those are the locks. Miami, we got +6.5. And the Philly, New England under 45. And that is our leans. Locks and leans right there. Sucker bet, the Patriots. Stay away from them this week. I know they probably made you a lot of money for the last 10 years, but there's no business fucking with the Patriots this week. No reason to. The dog of the week, Tampa Bay. That game goes one of 2 ways. Tampa Bay wins it by a decent chunk, touchdown or more, or the Saints just completely blow them out and demolish them. That's the way I see that game going. So I'll take the money line bet. I'll take my chances that Tampa Bay is the winner in that one. And the teaser, we're going Atlanta, Carolina under 55.5, Baltimore +2, and then we're teasing Indy to +3.5. All right. That's all we got this week. Apologies if my voice didn't sound great. And sorry it was a little bit late, but like I said, I've been under the weather, sick robe and all. About to turn this around, do a DraftKings one in about 5 minutes. Check that one out too. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ThatSportsDope. mindsandmike.com/TheSportsDope. That's where you will find all the other social media links. That is all I got for you on the picks. Good luck. Let's fucking take some cash home this weekend. Peace.